Welcome back to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with Lauren Swoopes, goalie, University of Georgia. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I mean, I just got out of another interview, with another athlete. But we're excited to talk to you. We can't wait to hear what you got to say. Athletic minds, right? All about mindset, motivation. How can we get to the next step? How can we get to the next level? So first thing off the bat, we really ask to everybody, what keeps you motivated the most? Like, what keeps you like hungry for that next step?
Really just knowing that I haven't reached my ceiling as a player. Like, there's a want for me to get better, like, every day. Like, just hearing from what my coaches say, my teammates and stuff. And, like, even my family, when they come watch me play, it's just motivation to get better, just so they can see me in those next, steps going forward. So,
Mm. Why do you think it is like so important to like never stay satisfied with like where you currently are?
because then, like, your work ethic and, like, just where you want to go kind of peters out and it starts to stay constant. And if you want to keep growing, then you got to stay hungry. Like, never be satisfied at where you are. So, like, if it's a certain skill that, you're like, okay, I'm feeling better about it, but keep working on to it's like second nature, like perfection. Like, you
Mm.
want to, yeah, you just want to
That's
keep working
I
on
guess
that
that you can
because
say that's where like consistency comes in. Like once you develop your goal, like you have that like thing that
exactly,
you have that like routine you do every day. It's just a matter of following through with it now. And now,
exactly, yeah.
yeah. And now talking about maybe like a morning routine or something. Is there something that you do maybe every morning that's like constant in your life, sort of like a ritual that you follow?
Yeah, so every morning I get up and I actually pray. So that's the first thing. Get out of bed, you gotta pray, and then I gotta get some breakfast because fueling is everything. You gotta eat right. So get some breakfast and straight to the field. I like to work out in the morning so I can have the rest of my day. So that's another thing I'm big on, working out in the morning. Yeah.
Likewise here. I mean, not a college athlete myself, but I like to get into the gym or go for a run every in the morning specifically. I think it just gets the blood flowing. Wake up,
Exactly.
grab some water, maybe bang out a couple push-ups, and then right into
Yeah.
you mentioned breakfast too. What would you say are some like your favorite like healthy foods? Like maybe not just breakfast, but just overall stuff that you always love to like include into your diet.
So I'm definitely like big on protein. So I like a lot of steak, like a lot of chicken. I'm really big on vegetables. I like vegetables too. Broccoli is my favorite. So, yeah, just getting a lot of vegetables and just those heavy protein meals. That's what's really big for me because I'm also trying to gain weight too. So, trying to get big. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean specifically for you now, why do you think nutrition plays such a big role into like, overall being an athlete? Like you can work out all you want, but if you're not staying like eating the right foods like on that like, being healthy in the nutrition field, like you have to have a happy balance. Why is it so important for you nutrition?
So they go hand in hand. You could work out, like you say, you could work out and get working all you want, but if you don't have that right diet, it kind of sets you back. So like if you're
Mm.
trying to get bigger and stronger than what you eat, definitely plays a part. You want to have like balanced meals, a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, stuff like that, because those are really your fuel. So if you go to sleep, you want to have like a lot of carbs to give you a next level energy when you get up the next morning. So like you won't be able to perform as well as you think. Like even if you're working out the way you need to, if you don't have that fuel, then you won't be able to perform to your best potential. So that's really
Right.
big
And I feel like that's kind of like probably one of the hardest parts I think of staying like consistent
for
as an
sure.
athlete, right? So now
Yeah,
I
for
guess
sure.
I want to get out of this now is why do you think that people like quit? Like why do you think people like some like just they just like fall like out of love with what they do and like it's just not for them? Why do you think that is?
Um, well, I will say that in the process of like being an athlete, there's a lot that comes with it and a lot that you have to commit to every day in, day out. Like everything you do affects another thing, and that can get tiring for some people, especially like you said, we talked about earlier, always wanting to stay hungry and, never be satisfied. That
Hmm.
gets tiring after a while. So I feel like that's hard for a lot of people. And, coming into the game, it's not just you. You're competing against, everybody else. And there's always somebody new coming in right behind you. So
Someone's
gotta stay,
always someone's always trying to take your spot. Someone would
take your
love to
spot.
be where you are
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's what's hard about it. So,
We mentioned it before about like recharging and like stuff like you said carbs for like energy boost for the rest of the day or for
yeah.
like the next day. How big a part do you think sleep plays in the recharging process?
It's just as big. I'm telling you, sleep is everything. That's like the base. If you don't get enough sleep, then you definitely can't perform the next morning. Like we get up at 5:30, we have 6 a.m. workout. So if you don't get that sleep, coach gonna be looking at you like, "What's going on?" So
To put a number on it, what would you recommend to maybe like really anybody? How much sleep do you think someone should get like every night?
about 7 to 8 hours. I try to get 7 minimum. So if I know I have workout the next morning, that night before, I'm like on the dime. Like you gotta go to sleep. So
Yeah, sleep definitely it's the recharging process. Like you can tell the night before, if you're out late and you plan on waking up early. Like say you have
yeah.
that consistent schedule of wake up at 5 o'clock, 5:30 workout, right? And you
Hmm.
decide, hey, let me do this before I go to bed. And by the time it's like midnight, 1 o'clock, what are you gonna do? Like when you have when you make that commitment, like not only let yourself down, you let like maybe your teammates and stuff like that. Your coaches think
Absolutely.
lower of you, and it just overall snowballs into something that's not a positive like at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, a little bit about yourself now. Obviously you play for University of Georgia, but was Georgia always the pick for you? Like was there other schools throughout your recruiting process that wanted your talents, and like why was Georgia the right pick?
So I did have other schools recruiting me at the time, but Georgia was the right pick for me because I'm from Atlanta, so it's close to home. So my family's here. Um, Also, funny enough, a really big thing about me is I did not like community bathrooms, and other places I went had the community bathrooms. That was a big no for me. So Georgia, they were good with it. Only had
Wow.
one other roommate in my suite, so it was cool. That was a big one for me. And then being in the north and south, so I had some schools up north, and I can't do the cold. The
Oh
cold,
man.
yeah, that was big for me too. So staying down south, that was the best move. And,
So what I'm getting at is Georgia's facilities are top notch.
oh, for sure, yeah,
Does
yeah.
do the like the nutrition program? Do they take care of you there in the cafeteria?
Oh, they give you everything you need. I just met with my nutritionist. His name's JJ. I had my whole plan for the summer already worked out, like lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything, snacks.
Hey,
So
there
they
you
give you
go.
everything you
Is
need.
it
Trust me.
is the plan you just mentioned, is that like different than what you've been doing, or how does it
Yeah.
work?
So what we're trying to do now is I'm squeezing an extra meal into, like I said earlier, I'm trying to gain some weight or whatever.
Right,
Well, muscle really, but
bulk
um,
season.
yeah, exactly. You know what it is. But so we're adding it, trying to get an extra meal in for me. That's more of like a protein dense meal. So maybe like some steak or some chicken, like with some rice and stuff like that. Like just to get that extra while
Mm,
I'm working out and stuff, so I can gain weight faster or muscle.
right, and myself personally, back in high school, I played football and baseball. The whole thing was for me was trying to gain weight. Now sophomore in college myself. I'm not a college athlete. Given
Yeah.
that I'm 5'9", 190, and I played middle linebacker in football, but besides the point, like not a college athlete's body. But anyway, going back to yourself, I feel like definitely nutrition plans are so important to like, and you can really, if you put like all your energy into towards to like where you want to get your body to, it's possible. Like you said, you're
Yeah,
trying
for
to gain
sure.
weight. You just got to hop on that plan. You got to know what you're doing, and of course, at Georgia, I'm sure you're put in a good position, to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little earlier, you mentioned how you're not a fan of like cold games, right? Have you ever had to
Yeah.
travel some? Have you ever had to travel somewhere where it was kind of chilly and you were just like, does that really affect you?
Yeah, so in the cold, I mean, I am a goalie, so one of the biggest things is staying locked in. You gotta stay locked in no matter the conditions. Like your hands, people think that goalie gloves are like actual gloves. They're not. Like the cold gets through those so easy. Like your hands
Man.
will be frozen. But yeah, you just gotta stay locked in and keep moving. But definitely, yeah, when it's colder, it is definitely harder. I would say. But
You have like a best memory so far throughout college with your teammates?
absolutely. So we were playing Clemson my freshman year, and we actually ended up beating them. We beat them 2-1, and that was just really big for us because I think that was our first like in season win, like SEC play. So we have been playing like preseason games and stuff before that, but that was a big one. So big that the next day at practice, we see a big old Kahuna ice truck pull up, and we had ice cream and stuff for free. So they maxed out on the whole thing. So that was pretty cool. Yeah,
That's definitely a memory. Now, another thing that comes up when I think of Georgia, right, is not only soccer, right, but other sports too. So, what was the atmosphere like on campus after the football team ended up winning?
That was crazy. Oh my God, that was crazy. The whole streets downtown were flooded. Everybody was out having a good time. It was amazing. Seeing them around campus when they got back, it was just like, just a proud feeling. Like y'all really brought it home for us. So
I'm
yeah,
sure like all the athletes there are probably at every school are probably close. Like, a bunch of the guys or whatever. Like, is there a
absolutely.
lot of bonding between sports at like different at
Yeah.
college?
Yeah, we hang out on the weekends and stuff like that. I have some friends, baseball players, I have softball players. It's a great variety, great mix. So everybody's cool, chill, because we all go through the same things. So
Right, right. You
it's
guys
good
can
to have
really probably relate with
to understand.
class and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Who would you say are some of maybe like the most intense rivalry games with Georgia right now
Mm.
for soccer specifically?
So I will say definitely Clemson, Ole Miss too, and Auburn for sure. Those are big ones. Just because we tend to go back and forth. So like one year we'll beat them, next year they'll beat us, or like we play them multiple times during the season. Sometimes
Right,
they'll go
right.
back and forth. So
Definitely cool. Now going on back to yourself, what are some of like maybe your personal goals for this upcoming year?
really, so I'm just focusing on the small things now. Like I feel like I'm pretty much solid all around, but I want to hone in like on the little things, like the stuff I talk about saying, like becoming second nature, like the consistency of everything, like certain distribution I'm doing, my talk with my team. I want to make sure I'm communicating effectively and like specifically, and yeah, just really honing on the little things and being more consistent. I think that's my biggest thing.
Right, and as a goalie, I mean, you can see everything out there, right? So I
Exactly.
guess that puts you in maybe some sort of leadership position, maybe to like maybe call out stuff
Absolutely.
or something. I've never played soccer personally, but I can tell like the goalies, where you wear. I might sound like a newbie, but you wear like a different color jersey, like it's like probably have a
Exactly.
prominent role in terms of leadership. So I'm trying
Commander of the field for sure.
so I'm trying to get at here. What makes a leader? Like, what characteristics do you think that maybe you possess and that other leaders possess that you might try to improve on, or what do you think makes a leader?
I think that in order to be a leader, you have to be selfless and to a certain extent, because as much as you want to like work on yourself, when you're a leader, you have to bring everyone else with you, because that's what a leader does. You want to be the
Mm.
example, but you still want to be able to help, others on your team
Right,
get
right.
to where you are, because or even beyond you, because that's the ultimate goal, right? As a team, you want to be,
Mm.
that next level. And so, also as a leader, you want to be, like I said, you want to stay confident in yourself, because a lot of times you can get lost in leading others and stuff. You have do so much for other people, you can get lost and not really be worried about yourself. You just want to make sure that you stay confident in yourself. You're mentally strong, and physically and all that. Just making sure that all that's together with you, so you can lead other people. And then also you have to want a willingness to like exactly never be satisfied, what we talked about earlier,
Right.
because as a leader you're like the forefront. Your emotions and stuff and demeanor affects the team. So if you're always like, we're gonna get this, we're gonna go, we got this, let's go hard, everybody else is gonna be right behind with you, like, let's go,
It's
turn
contagious.
exactly. So
Right.
that's yeah.
Absolutely. I can definitely see like how that all comes together in terms of
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, on a more lighter side now, tell me something that really no one else knows about you. Like, tell me something that's like different that really makes you stand out.
Let's see. So I'm really like on the personal side, or like on soccer field, like type.
It can be anything. Maybe more on like the personal side away from soccer. What makes you stand out?
So actually, a lot of people don't know this because I mean they don't know me personally, but my team they know when you put on the beat, I can get a little jiggy. I'm definitely into music. Like even coming up through high school, I played the violin. Like my music is my second love. Like I love playing it, hearing it, really dissecting. Like I love music like that. So.
Hey, then I mean I gotta ask this one: who's on the pregame playlist? Who you guys bumping in the
Oh,
locker room?
come on now. You gotta have Young Thug. That is my favorite rapper. Number one. You gotta have some Baby. You gotta have some Gunna. They all gonna come together. And then, but for female artists, Summer Walker is definitely my favorite. So, a little versatile.
Okay. I sometimes ask that question to athletes, and honestly, between just about 50 episodes through this podcast so far, a lot of them have said like really like chill music, like not so much like upbeat stuff. And I feel like that's definitely a sense of maybe, like maybe some sort of like maturity in terms of like relaxing
Exactly.
before games. Can you relate to
Yeah.
that at all?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I have different playlists. I have one for when we're in the locker room, when we're getting ready to go out, and then one when I'm, pulling up to the field, getting to the zone, really locking in, imagining what I'm doing the game and stuff like that. So, for
You have
sure.
like a pregame routine. Like, do you eat like the same thing before every game? Like, are you like?
Actually, so I'm not that down packed with my routine. Like, I don't have to eat a certain thing or whatever to be,
Mm,
but I do wrap my wrist and I write the people, the like some that have passed away, and then some who I play for, or I'm thinking about stuff like that on my wrist. I do that every game, and I pray. That's about
right.
it.
Like sometimes
I have to do that.
that's definitely solid. I used to do that too with my grandpa when I played football. I would write like his initials on my wrist. But yeah, completely can understand that. But there's some people out there that like do some like weird like they don't go like go on the field before the game starts, or like I don't know, they eat a
Yeah,
certain thing, or sometimes it's like weird like that. Or yeah, so definitely interesting to see what you do before games. I know everyone's different. Everyone has their own thing.
for sure.
Yeah, we got a couple more here.
Yeah.
You get to go to dinner with two people. Who are you going with? Where are you going? What are you ordering?
Mm. Oh man. Let's see. I would go to dinner with. Hmm. That's a hard one. That's a good one. I
Hey,
say probably. Mm,
it could be anybody. Dead or alive, whoever your ideal dinner would be. Two people.
I would go to dinner with my grandfather and my dad, just because my dad is kind of like my rock, like or whatever. Both my parents are, but my dad was a collegiate athlete. He played football at Mississippi State, and he understands like a lot of the stuff that I go through. So I talk to him literally every day. And then my grandfather, I never really met him. He passed away before I was born. So if I went to dinner with them, I feel like just seeing them together, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just
Yeah.
that conversation will be out of this
Mm.
world. So, and then if I went, I will order. I don't know. I had to go for the big guns, like a lobster tail, a filet mignon. Like it got to be something, it got to be something out there for sure.
You got like a favorite restaurant that you would get that from?
So I usually get the filet mignon. So my favorite restaurant is Ted's. So it's like a bison burger place, and it's
Solid.
amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's been my favorite restaurant since I was in like middle school. So
Hey,
yeah,
I mean, you don't really see that a lot where I am. I'm from New Jersey, so like
yeah,
up like north. I've never actually been to Atlanta, Georgia area, but
really.
yeah, no.
Oh yeah, you gotta come then. Come down. Yeah,
I've been to Florida a bunch of times because I have family that lives there, but majority of my life, I mean, New York, pizza, bagels, the bread
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um, regardless, I mean that's definitely solid. You think that's on like in their diet too? Some nice steak or lobster tail, of course.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they'll probably be tearing it up more than me.
we no, I asked that because we would get an athlete like yourself, and people would say like, oh, I would take Beyonce or something, not like an athlete or someone that
Right,
they really
exactly.
know. So I'd say, oh, you think a big steak dinner would fit in like their diet?
And probably not.
No, but definitely something that's cool. Yeah, for sure. Last thing, in terms of role models, maybe not someone from your direct family, but maybe a professional athlete that you look up to. You look up to their mindset. Who would you say is a role model in that sort of sense?
I would definitely say that man that's right behind you, Kobe
Oh
Bryant, for
man,
sure.
yeah, we got the jersey, we got the poster.
Yeah, everything for
Yeah,
sure. He's definitely like the ideal role model, especially like in the sports world. Just his work ethic, his mindset, his drive, his demeanor about everything. Like just like taking on simple things every day, like going to practice. He's gonna be the best one at practice every day, though. Like even if it's just practice, even if it's just like a little warm up, you know, he's gonna step up to the
right.
plate and be every time. And there's just no better. I think that's the best mindset you can have as an athlete, for sure.
100%. And Kobe Bryant, he's really one of the main figures with Athletic Minds from maybe the first couple posts that we've made on the Instagram page. So I've like come to learn a lot about him. I just remember one thing that really stood out. I remember he said one time he would like work out like in intervals throughout the day, right? And he would say
Yeah,
how the compound amount of time he would spend, like people just couldn't catch up to him in terms of his like
exactly.
his work ethic. So say he worked out, I remember some interview he was like I work out from like 4 to 6 in the morning, then 9 to 11, and then 2 to 6 or what, like 4 to 6 or whatever, and all those hours like would never be able to add up to anybody else because they just wouldn't put in as much time. And I just thought
Exactly.
that was like something that really stood out to me and like talked a lot about how hard he worked. So
Yeah,
absolutely a big role model to not just yourself, probably to millions of people on
for
all
sure.
levels of of skill. So
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been great talking to you. I mean, you got anything else you want to add? Shout anything out that we haven't mentioned?
No, just glad to be here. Thanks for having me, for sure.
Of course, it's been great talking to you. Lauren Swoopes, University of Georgia's goalie. Great to have you on. Wishing you the best, and we'll be looking forward to see what Georgia can do this next year.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great rest of your day.
You too. See you.
All right.